Okay, so I bet all of you have had a feeling before where you guys have tried to talk to somebody, like a friend or a family member, and then you end up talking to them just for like 2 minutes, then they end up taking out over the conversation. They talk for like 50 minutes, 30 minutes, even hours. And then ends up that you never got to really talk. Well, there's a quote by Amor Pierce. A bore is a person who talks when you want them to listen. And I agree with him that it's better to listen to somebody when they need to talk, and it's better for another person to listen to you when you have to talk. And I'm going to explain three points of how you could make it easier for the other person to understand that you want them to listen, and a point where you guys should listen to other people when they need you to listen to them. The first point I want to explain was the point about them listening to you, how to make them listen to you. The way I do it is when I have friends that I'm talking to them. I have a few friends that when I talk to them, they usually end up taking over the conversation. Usually, like, I try not to interrupt them, but if you have to, I usually try to interrupt them so that they know I need to talk. And like if it's either a personal problem, or if I need advice, or if I need help with something, if I just want to talk about the news or sports or something, I try to interrupt them to let them know I want to talk. So that's the first point I wanted to explain. And the second point is that you guys should try your best to listen to others when they need you to listen, instead of being like the other people that were, they talk to you, then you end up taking over the conversation. I think it's really important to listen to other people, especially like if they need it. Especially like how I had, like if I had problems, I want them to listen. If they have problems, they want you to listen. So I just think it's important that we all listen to each other, and that's about it.
Right, David, I like the visualization that you had at the beginning of the conversation that got taken over by the other person. I thought that worked pretty well at setting up your topic, and you made a good transition to what the thesis was that you were going to talk about. It also sounded like you had a pretty solid preview. The problem is after that, I didn't really think that you stuck to that preview, and it seemed like all of the points sort of ran together, and you were rushing at the beginning of the speech especially, and it felt like none of those individual points became distinct ideas that are supporting the position that you're taking. They just seem to be stream of consciousness issues that are rushing out. And I think if you paced yourself a little bit more, you'd give yourself a chance to reflect and think on them while you're speaking. You'd come up with some additional examples while you're talking. On the gestures, you loosened up after a while and had some involving descriptive gestures while you were speaking, but at the very beginning and at the very end, you have this tendency to kind of hold your own hand, in your hand, and it looks a little bit anxious there. When you get going on your ideas, you get a little bit more animated, and I think that that looks more natural and involved. Let's see. Your posture was fine. I thought you had generally solid audience contact. I think your facial expressions might be a little bit more animated while you're talking to us. Like I said, part of the problem is that it feels really much like you were rushing through the presentation instead of thinking about where you're going and just talking with us a bit. And so I think that that would give you a chance to develop the content a little bit more if you think about it while you're speaking, and also kind of force you to interact with us a little more if you pace yourself more reasonably. All right, thank you.